In 2019, my brother and I visited quite a number of southern states. 2019 was a different type of era. People were allowed to actually go to bars and weren't paranoid about going to public places and listening to live music. People love eating here on the street. Probably the best food they've ever had. Oh yeah. Is it the best you've ever had?
I don't know yet. No.
Okay.
No, it might not be.
It might be.
It might be. It might be. As of now, no.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had it.
It looks good.
Yes.
Smells good.
I gotta sit down.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's hard to find a place to sit down around here though.
Yeah. I know it is.
I think she wants to give a rating.
Yeah, what's the rating? Don't give no rookie score.
You can say it's good even if
Don't
it's
give no
not
rookie
good.
score.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. That's why I reacted.
That's a fucking rookie score. You know that. How many rookie scores have you ever seen?
So she said it's a 10 out of 10.
He's right behind you!
Oh wow! Oh my god! I thought he was behind me.
I got a finger roll.
Oh wow! What happened? Someone bit it? Yeah,
He gave somebody the finger. He gave him.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. Someone bit. Happy New Year! Some dumb person bit. Happy turn 21.
Hi, thank you.
Oh, hey, get my boot.
Oh wow! Look at that! Pretty cool. Wow! That been a cow or a red cow or anything like that?
Those are leather flames.
Leather frames.
Leather flames.
Is this a D&B line?
I think so.
Okay, cool. It's a pretty long line, isn't it?
Oh, there she is.
And you know what? The other night we got to thank for the nurses too, because nurses save lives every day as well. Not just firefighters or paramedics. So I'll tell you what, we're going to thank you guys because everybody thanks the military. We're military and we like getting thanked. But I'll tell you what, every damn day firefighters, first responders, paramedics, and nurses save lives. So the hats off to you guys.
All right. As you can see here, we have a lot of luggage. I have backpack. Danny has oh, you don't have the backpack. Oh, it's over here. So you might be wondering why do we have all this luggage on a bridge? And there's a reason why. At the hotel behind me, you can see it, it's called Canopy. It's they charge $30 a day for valet parking over there. And so we had a brilliant idea of saying, you know what, we're just going to carry all of our stuff to the car. We're going to park the car like a mile away and we'll walk.
For any hotel, pretty much anywhere you can think of, except maybe some really busy parts in New York or LA.
We never pay for parking. No way.
You just go over this bridge, it's not that far, and then there's like a residential area where you can park for free.
It applies even in New York City. We'll park in New Jersey and walk instead of pay for parking. Actually, we don't do that. We don't rent a car in New York City because you don't need it. But our next stop will be Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery is Montgomery. Montgomery, Alabama.
All right, let's hit it. Yeehaw! I heard a lot about this place. People said this place has amazing food, so I'm going to try it out. Sorry. So they got, oh wow. For 8 cents? I don't think that's today's prices. It's a mom and pop kind of place that they have hamburgers and hot dogs. It's very unique.
I'm gonna try it right now.
Try it out. Tell me if it's good.
That's a really good burger.
All right, I'm gonna try that now. Oh yeah, now I forgot how easy this is.
Now let me try the hot dog. I'll tell you.
That's good stuff.
Let's see how the hot dog is. See the coleslaw in there with their special sauce. Very filling.
Can give our honest take. My own take is, I would say the hamburgers were really good. I wasn't that impressed by the hot dog though. That's my take. What about your take?
Yeah, the hamburger was pretty good. The hot dog, it wasn't excellent, but it wasn't.
That was
terrible.
good, and considering there are no choices in the city, I'm happy that they're willing to.
I kind of wish I knew.
Oh, well, they even talk about all the cool people who ate here. They even say both Bushes here. It's
Elvis
Harry
Presley.
Truman, Elvis Presley, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Martin Luther King, Hank
Elvis
Williams.
Presley-
In Alabama, a doctor casually showed me his .50 caliber Desert Eagle
That's
handgun
an expensive
on
one
the
too. I
street.
think it's like
Well, yeah,
$2,000.
these are fairly expensive. And then there's a holster. This is a knife because
It's
what-
shaped in an amazing way too.
That is.
it
yeah,
cuts
that
in
was-
all directions. It's actually very cool. This knife is good because you really need a knife if you carry a gun. You need to have both.
Oh yeah.
It's called a gun and knife club. They didn't call it the gun club or the knife club. It's called a gun and knife club.
Oh yeah.
Okay? So it's a good thing to have.
Whoa.
It does the job. And you see, you can go in all directions. It also has on the hilt, you can crack somebody in the head or whatever.
Have you ever had a need to use it in an emergency situation?
No,
or?
no.
All right, now we go.
Okay, we are going to do our laundry now, and it's raining. Is this?
You have a trash bag. What's the trash bag about?
Because that's our laundry bag. Because we lost our laundry bag before the trip, so we
wow.
get to look like bums.
And does this look wonderful, everybody? I bet everybody's jealous of this. Now this, we gotta be careful when we're crossing here. It's really rainy here.
We look like bums.
You do? Yeah, you kind of do. You're carrying a trash bag. Trash collector. Are you a bum? It's terrible out here. Do you feel like this is like the worst kind of... Well, it's not the worst thing in the world to walk in the rain, but
At least we have an umbrella.
yeah, we have an
But
umbrella.
Michael had the dumb idea to bring all the camera gear.
No, because I thought we're going somewhere else after. And do you really want your camera gear in the hotel room? That's a nuisance, and I always feel paranoid about leaving my stuff in the hotel room. All right, this is the heaviest corner in 1909, as you can see right there. And as you can see, I mean, at that point in time, this is a very cosmopolitan and very sophisticated area with a lot of skyscrapers. So it was really a great form of advancement coming along. But now when you look at some of these, when you look at it carefully, you can see that it's not maintained that well. It's kind of like this area has had a better time period. I mean, it's not maintained as well as it should. But it's interesting that at one time this was literally on the whole face of the planet. It was the heaviest four corners because no other place really had such huge skyscrapers on all four sides. So I'm pretty impressed by that. It's really a historical spot. See, the people in this area, some of them think that the mayor is a fraud. I have no idea if that's true or not, but I do know one thing. We brought a drone over for our trip, and one reason why you're probably not seeing any drone footage on this trip is sadly because some jerk or thief stole our drone at one of the hotels we were staying at. We're actually still in the process of contacting them to let them know that it was likely stolen. So that's something we will be working on, and that's always an unfortunate thing. We traveled all through Asia and actually even Europe, never had any theft but the drone was actually in this case. It looked a little bit like a wallet, so it's possible the person thought they were stealing a wallet, but instead they were getting a $400 drone, which they can't really use, actually.
They
ironically
did not take the controller.
Nope, they didn't take the controller. It's probably obvious that they thought it was a wallet, and they probably can't use it, right? You cannot use it.
You cannot use it without a controller.
Oh,
they
wow.
could buy a controller, I suppose.
I see. Okay, so what's interesting is Birmingham is considered one of the top 10 dangerous cities in America, apparently. And it's a little bit of a grungy city, so I can kind of imagine it. A lot of people asking for money. They all do the same nonsense trick here in the park, at the Civil Rights Park. They they all start giving like this mini tour, and then they ask for money at the end. It's really annoying. It's like a tea scam in China. What do you think about that? You actually give them money for some reason.
I wanted to be done with it and move on, because otherwise he was going to just keep bothering us. He was going to follow us around.
So there's the fountain park, and it's empty right now. I think it's because it's this colder time of the year, so they probably I'm assuming that's because they take the water out because they don't want to freeze. Now what's interesting about this park is that this just like maybe like half an hour ago, this park had tons of bums and homeless people offering to give tours. They're all gone. You know why? The homeless actually do have a place to live. They don't live outside here in Birmingham, apparently.
They go to a shelter.
They go to the shelter. They don't do that in LA. They'd rather stay in the tent over there, but you can't do that here. I'm sure that they would arrest you if you want to sleep on the street over here. So these are supposed to be representations of water hoses that were used, and they would be aimed at innocent people. They would just be right here, and it'd be really cold. Could actually make them sick. So they'd be right here, and these really giant water hoses could be a big problem. And it's actually very similar to conditions today. Where you see Hong Kong, they do use these kind of water hoses on innocent people, just protesters, and it's really inhumane. So since we were a victim of theft at that last hotel, now we're thinking of a new idea for the future. We're thinking of what's that? Oh, in the backwards. Okay, so we're thinking of upping our security one step further. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. Look at this.
Why is Michael acting like that?
We're stepping up our security.
You're gonna buy lock sacks.
Nobody's gonna mess with us.
It's like a portable safe. It's a very good idea.
We're gonna travel with safes now.
But I don't think you can fit a really big item in there. It's just for tiny items.
Is that your safe? Yeah, nobody's gonna be messing with us. I like all cramped. So
Hopefully it's done.
What-
This is really confusing elevator.
one thing about hotels is that every part of the experience really is it closing? Alright, so everything about the experience of hotels should give you a feeling of happiness, because that's what you pay the premium for, is that service. Not really the building, because the building could be old, like this one is kind of an old building, so
They try to make up for it
They
with
kinda-
good service.
yeah, hopefully they try their best to make it up for it with the good service, and we'll see, because I'm gonna take you on a tour when we leave.
The hot water up here is really bad.
Someone's getting rich off this music here.
In Montgomery, Alabama, our drone was stolen by someone working for the hotel we were staying at. Thankfully, my brother bought a replacement drone and had it shipped to our hotel in another state.
I'm going now.
Look at that thing. You won't be able to see it soon. So today, instead of going to Dollywood, even though that's what we want to do, Danny wants to fly his drone. Check that out. I'm gonna shoot down that damn drone. I'm gonna shoot that damn thing down.
In Dollywood, I visited a theme park on the absolute busiest day of the year. It was packed. It took more than an hour just to drive into the theme park.
Ton of traffic. We're here on the busiest week of the whole year.
About to go into Dollywood for the first time. Hi. Thank you very much. You too, thank you. All right, we're in Dollywood. First time seeing it. I actually personally did not watch any of the other YouTube videos of other people coming here, so this is interesting experiencing for the first time. Dollywood's It's a Wonderful Life, Palace Theater. I bet it's an interesting show. I never even heard about that.
We're gonna see all the shows here.
Gotta see every single show.
way. Please remain seated and keep your hands and arms inside the car.
Unlike at Disneyland, you can't really control this ride, so it's pretty
still grooving.
Thank you. All right. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Georgia Railroad right away using pre-1930 equipment to East Chattanooga terminus. We're gonna be riding this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I've been on trains before, but this looks like it's like riding in the old west. Although we're not in the west, we're in the south. Out here, got my ticket. Just like a real train.
This is very much a real train.
So yeah, I said, hey, is this like a real train? How you take tickets on a train? And he's like, it's very much a real train. So let's see where we're gonna sit. Where are you gonna sit, Danny?
Probably this side.
I know, Danny. He likes to sit where nobody is.
In Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum is a fantastic opportunity to return to a time period when many people traveled via trains. One has the opportunity to ride an old steam-powered train and get first-hand lectures on how the train operates and tons of history on the train and the city of Chattanooga.
We acquired it a number of years ago as Army surplus for, believe it or not, only $250. See our engineer Joe. He is responsible for operating this locomotive and getting us here safely today. So everyone go ahead and give him a wave.
This is one of the coolest places to go. I wonder how many places they have in the U.S. where they have like these retired railroads. I think there are quite a number of railroad museums, aren't there, Danny?
Yeah, there are many.
This one probably had to compete with other railroad museums around the country
There's one
to
in
get it.
Arizona that probably that we didn't get to see so much of. Did we?
How about the airplane graveyard? I don't think they let people into that. Pretty impressive. We're here on Christmas Day, so that's why it's there's nobody here. But at the same time, it's kind of impressive because
The Incline Railway is one of the greatest rides I've ever been on. There are parts of the train that have a 72.7% grade, which literally feels like a train is going up vertically. It is amazing to go straight up like that. Not only is that one of the best train rides in Chattanooga, it might be one of the best in the world.
Those of you who enjoy history agree. The battle took place on the day.
So here we are at the very top of the observation area. This is where people go once they go on top of the steepest railroad inclinator in the world. And this is the view people get. They get to see Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's a pretty impressive view. You see the river over there.
And 24 stops.
See, there's still room for some development here. So now I've taken the inclinator in Hong Kong and in Japan, and even despite the fact that this was one of the steepest, I don't think that it's it didn't feel as steep at some points as the Hong Kong one, mainly because that one definitely goes up a lot higher. But at the same time, it definitely felt very, very steep. So what's kind of cool about it is that some old lady kind of cut our video short by talking about things we don't care about. Like telling us to go to Virginia when we already have been to Virginia. And Lookout Mountain. Now, was the view the most amazing thing up there? Nope. I would say the reason why people go up there is not the view, it's the technology, because it's a really unique thing. There's really nothing like that. I have never ridden something like that in the US where you go up that steep. In fact, even in Hong Kong and Japan is not that steep actually. Right, so Danny, like a dummy,
I was walking on this.
You walked here real sloppily and you put that there, you gotta put it back. Don't you remember playing this particular game back in the day, and you know what? We would cheat back in the day. We would just throw this thing or the ball right there and get all the things. They got smart. They took things one step ahead of this thing, so they don't have to give kids rewards that they don't deserve. They have good lessons here. Don't give into these. Don't give freebies. Yeah, so cool. And they have really old games from the old era when I was playing this kind of game right here, Mortal Kombat. Okay. So we have been walking here in this hiking trail in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And we're towards the end of it.
We're towards the end of it, and it's a pretty good hike. I would say it is fairly easy, except for the one part where it's a little bit narrow at one point, and it's a little scary, but not too scary.
Only scary for Michael. Most people
and
on
a lot,
this hike are not scared.
I guess not. There are a lot of kids that use this hike too, so it's pretty easy.
Michael's more scared than a kid.
Oh, but the kids don't know how dangerous it is over here. Okay, so
Someone left the camera right here.
What the hell? What is the camera doing over there? Man, what the hell? Someone's spying on us? What's the meaning of this? Well, as you know, Danny is a amateur videographer, and he carries this big ass thing around wherever he goes. Even on his hikes. How do you hike with this?
How do you hike with this?
That's insane. Hi. What's up that way?
It's actually, there's actually a pretty nice view up there. It's just a bunch of like water collecting probably from a spring. Oh, comes down through a bunch of rocks and then down here.
What are you doing?
In case you fall down.
Okay, I'm going up here. This kind of reminds me of when Danny went up that humongous. He went on a humongous hill in Hawaii, and the world has never seen it. This is it, right?
That's the rock.
Oh boy, I made it. Proud of me. He's proud of me. Here's a challenge, getting down from up here. Not as easy as it appears. Danny said I couldn't get it. I couldn't make it. But I think I made it. Right. Very good. Made it. I think all of you are proud of me on YouTube. Your view of this, isn't it a pretty amazing looking waterfall right here?
It's the busiest waterfall I've ever been to.
It's very busy. So, what do we know about Great Smoky Mountain?
There's 800 miles of trails to walk here, and we only walked about one of it.
It's called Great Smoky Mountain National Park, right?
There's a lot of deaths, falling deaths.
Yeah, apparently, because this is, well, I
think that the deaths
it's like
are
for
the
selfie.
people that are
It's
going in
selfie.
those crazy pictures down the hill.
And there is people who are trying to do a selfie. Oh, wait a minute, am I doing a selfie? I'm doing a selfie video, but not the same thing.
You shouldn't be hiking and taking videos, Michael.
It's not the same. It's not quite the same thing in my view. Oh, you gotta be careful.
Muddy here.
Yeah.
Who's gonna know?
I'm gonna stay on the right. I mean the left.
Lavalier sound.
Do you like how heavy Danny's gear is? He's like he's packing a mule. He's just putting this on a mule and going on a park
It makes
ride.
it 5 times harder than a normal hike.
It is.
But we're not using anything.
But he loves his big camera. Although he said he may switch to some other kind of gizmo at some point. Well, the other thing about this park is that there's no cost to get here, and that's just why people love to come to this park. Hi.
Are you vlogging?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, vlog.
Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
You are walking in those spots there?
I probably didn't get that. We are in front of Bill Jefferson Clinton's presidential library. It's right here. It's a really huge building. Some people have called it it looks like a trailer, some people have said, and I guess it kind of does. Looks like there's like these hinges and it's elevated. And they have two special exhibits about the heart and soul of the Southern Delta, which is a poor region of Mississippi. And they have the 90s are back to get more of the hipsters coming here, because I doubt that they're that interested in President Clinton, so they're more interested in the 90s. What do you think about that, Danny?
She said it was okay for me to love balloons.
So my first initial impression is that they did a good job on the bridge to the 21st century. Very beautiful. They have this nice little kind of shallow, like little thing, a fountain. And I guess not even a fountain. I don't know what it is. What do you call this? The streaming water.
This is an infinity pool.
It's very beautiful.
It's infinity because it goes over the...
And there's the Clinton Library. William Jefferson Presidential Library. We're about to go inside.
The media all over America made fun of me at the Democratic convention because after Hillary spoke, they dropped all these balloons and I was the last one playing with the balloons. George Bush would call me just to talk politics. And a chill went up and down my spine when Laura said that all their records were digitized. Dear God, I hope there's no record of those conversations in this vast and beautiful building.
And one thing that it says here is completely wrong. It said Bill Clinton hoped that economic reform would lead to political reform. That did not happen. Instead of having some political reform, what happened is, as the economy opened and China got richer, they were able to use the extra wealth to become more authoritarian as time went on. So Clinton and at the Jimmy Carter Library, they both were quite wrong in thinking that if you appease China, it will actually become more democratic. The opposite has happened. We are here at the President Clinton Presidential Library, and they have a special exhibit called 1999. We're about to see why they call it that. Look at that. It's probably like 1999. What the heck is this?
Super Nintendo.
Look how pixelated this is.
Is this a real game?
I don't see anything happening.
It doesn't seem to be working.
It's not working. Okay, well, I guess it's just an exhibit.
I like President Bush.
Look, the Super Soaker. That was a big thing for us.
Yeah. Did it really go 50 feet? Anniversary.
Apparently, oh look, it says that technology from that allowed them to create green energy. I have no idea if that's true or not, but that's what it says. I remember these. We would buy the pirated versions though. Yep. All right, everybody. If you remember the Clinton era, he always had this cliched nonsense terminology about we're building a bridge to the 21st century.
That we're going to build a bridge to the 21st century that all of you can walk across with your families, with your children, and with your neighbors.
And I'm going to do an impersonation of Reverend Wright. Hillary has been married to Bill. Bill has been good to us. No, he ain't. Bill did us like he did Montgomery whiskey. He was riding dirty.
Hillary is married to Bill, and Bill have been good to us. No, he ain't. Bill did us just like he did Monica Lewinsky. He was riding dirty.
We are at Johnny's drive-in restaurant, and you know what? There's a famous person who ate here at Johnny's drive-in. It was Elvis Presley. In fact, this is Elvis' booth. See this picture of Elvis Presley? He actually ate here. He actually ate here. I don't know how the sound works sometimes. There's a story of the guy who took this picture. It's really cool. And and I'm actually sitting in the exact same seat that Elvis said, and it's funny because technically it's actually not really a great picture because it's actually breaking the rule of thirds, as you can see.
He just didn't.
He just looked like and Elvis just looked like he's a little shy and kind of like, man, what are you thinking? Then you're taking a picture of me in a restaurant. I'm just trying to get some food. You're kind of being a jerk taking my picture.
But because he preserved it,
He preserved it. Yeah, well, was that the question is, was that a color picture at one time, or was it black and white? Because it has a weird faded look.
Black and white? Probably black and white. 1956.
Probably was black and white.
And it's the same exact wood that
the same exact wood. So I'm really sitting in a museum piece, and if this were in a museum, they would have said don't sit on it, but since it's a functioning real restaurant, it's continuous use, I'm sitting in it where Elvis sat. So. Yeah, I do have $1. I'll get it. So we're here at Johnny's drive-thru, and we're about to leave. We had a meal here, and it's an interesting looking place. Really quaint, beautiful, and it's historic. It's the oldest place in Tupelo. And Elvis sat here where I sat right here. That's Elvis' seat.
That's correct.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you again. Thank you. Stay safe. Really cool. Oh wow. Oops. You didn't do a last minute check? All right. They're very honest here. Johnny's. Thank you. You wouldn't believe where I am right now. I am in front of Elvis Presley's birth home. Basically, he was born here. This is where he grew up, in this little tiny shack. He grew up in a little tiny home. There were only 2 rooms. There was the living room and there was the kitchen. Can't really do a video inside because they don't allow that.
It's not clear how many beds were in there.
Yep.
Nobody knows.
It's always an interesting thing to show where someone started. It shows that you can start in pretty high degree of poverty and work your way up. Although this is probably as big as some Manhattan apartments, so it's not as though people who are richer than Elvis's family was. Some of them live in similar conditions. Actually, that actually might be bigger than a Manhattan apartment. What do you think?
Could be.
All right, I am standing in front of the world famous Graceland, and it's such a one-of-a-kind place. I took a tour the other day, and it was wonderful to be inside Elvis's home. It has a unique feel to it, and more people have gone to this home than any other home in America other than the White House. And that's interesting because this home has only been open to the public for around like about 40 years or so. And so many people have seen it, and heads of state have gone here. President Bush and the Prime Minister of Japan came here when President Bush was president, and everybody pretty much wants to see it because there's so much mystique and mystery over how Elvis was as a private person. They don't actually take you to the second floor though, because they said that's Elvis's private space, and they feel like it kind of would violate his privacy, even though he's not around anymore. I kind of disagree with that rule. I think they should. So what do you think, Danny?
I think they should show it.
There must be a reason, like maybe it doesn't look good up there, or it's falling apart or something. I don't know. It makes creates conspiracy theories.
Films though, so there has been I think an Elvis movie.
Oh wow,
there, so
they have shown it.
They have shown it.
Oh, so we can't see it then.
Maybe the house structurally just cannot support all those people.
Oh, I think they talked about that.
Did they say that?
I think they said something like they would have to remodel it in order to handle that many people, and obviously they don't want to do that. So as a result, they have to close it. But I think they should at least show it on like a video or something like that. Yeah. But in any case, it's interesting. A guy who made a lot of money, this is where he lived. And now what's funny about it is that, but today some musicians who are not even very good have made a lot more money than Elvis. Like, who's that? Jay-Z? I never listened to his music, but apparently he's a billionaire or something like that. But apparently one mistake Elvis made was he had like a agent that was taking 50% of his earnings back then. That's insane, right? 50% of his earnings, and then at the time there was also 70% income tax rate too. So I don't know how Elvis had any money left over, and he was a big spender too. He didn't believe in saving his money.
There was someone that told Elvis once he had some gigantic ring, and then the guy told Elvis, "I'm gonna be able to have one of those one day." And then Elvis said, "You're not gonna have to wait any longer." He just gave it to him, and then the guy had it appraised, and then
he got arrested.
He got arrested because they thought he stole it from Elvis. And then Elvis, his estate, they said, "No, we gave it to him."
The Lisa Marie plane, which was named after his daughter, Lisa Marie, was the personal plane of Elvis Presley.
So yeah, this was the spot where the 9 were able to attend the school, and it's an incredible thing to think about nowadays that was a really controversial thing for those 9 black students to be able to attend this school. But the parents at the time and the other students, they were really insane. But it's actually a very beautiful campus. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful ones I've ever visited, actually. It just has a really nice classical feel to it. It's a huge part of American history. I remember seeing this place in history books. I never knew that I would actually see it with my own eyes. It's like a piece of Americana. You know what's even more interesting is that it actually is a school that is used today. They did not shut it down and just turn into a museum. It is actually a real working school. The lion is a mascot, and the doors are closed, unfortunately.
So we can't really peek our heads in.
School's closed. I kind of see it. Looks like it probably did exactly in that time period. It's
it hasn't changed much.
Has not changed much over here. Maybe the attitudes have changed over time. It shows you that people's attitudes can change over time. It's really quite an interesting building. Thankfully, it's been safe forever. It's probably owned by the National Park Service now.
Yeah.
But they get to be run locally by the school.
It is.
Obviously, the National Park does not run the school in terms of the school part, but it's definitely a huge part of American history right here. And they have a little waiting pool. I mean, obviously people can go in it. They have homes over there across the street, like in lots of places around the U.S. It's pretty amazing to be here, see it. Man, this is the strangest looking bathroom I've ever been in, I must say. I almost feel like it's like a jail cell. It's a weird looking place. Man, that's weird out here. And there's no lock on the door, man. It's pretty insane. Just had a tour here at the Martin Luther King Jr. home. And it was a really great tour. Actually, we didn't even know if we were going to get a tour today. Actually, that just happened at the spur of the moment. Wonderful things happen like that. And you're probably wondering, how come you don't have any video inside? Well, there's always an issue of copyrights in a lot of historic homes and it's quite a remarkable place. It gets quite a number of tourists coming here because it is a point of interest to a lot of people. It's a very historical building. Jefferson Davis, he was the first and only president of the Confederacy, and he was right here. So this is the F. Scott Fitzgerald Museum home. Is that coming from here? Where's that sound coming from? So one lame thing is we're traveling around during the Christmas time period, and sadly things are closed around right now. So sadly, we will not be able to see the inside of this property.
At the F. Scott Fitzgerald home in Montgomery, Alabama, the door happened to be open and unlocked. It is possible that the people who ran the museum left it open. On the other hand, it's also possible they had some Airbnb people staying over who did not know how to lock the front door. In any case, my brother and I locked the door. You're welcome, America.
I'm in an ice cream place that claims that they have 17,000 variations of their ice cream, and it's actually quite true, because over here you can get any of these things added to your ice cream. Now while it's true they have only vanilla or chocolate or yogurt, you can add all these things to add a little bit of variation. Instead of a place that pretty much has a fixed menu, they do it for you, which is pretty cool. They they let you do it, so it's where it's all blended, customized, especially for people that want it the way they do. That's the way they will. So we are here at Yellow Deli in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Do they have any words to say?
Chattanooga, and it's Yellow Deli, and there's several of these actually around the country. And
oh, perfect.
This one's in Chattanooga.
Excellent. Oh, that's fine. It's excellent service here. Thank you.
I would imagine it's very crowded when the universities.
Absolutely.
Oh, you'd have to get a reservation almost to get it.
No, it's not quite, but it can seem that way sometimes.
So he came just when
just the right time.
Easy
to get.
Come in and great.
And apparently there are quite a number of these around the country.
Yeah, we have several. We have them around the world now.
Oh, really? Wow. And this place is always open 24 hours a day. They never close this place.
They get university people to come over.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Yellow Deli in Chattanooga is open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. The rustic atmosphere is an incredible draw that brings in a lot of people from the surrounding area. There are about 20 Yellow Delis in the United States. They are run by a religious group, so technically it is a non-profit enterprise. Since it's a deli, I recommend getting the Reuben sandwich, which includes corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, and light rye. The coffee is also quite great, and they seem to serve an unlimited amount of refills too. I actually went on Christmas Day. They are open on Christmas.
What is this? Wow. Thank you again. That's a very one-of-a-kind Tennessee experience, and we will probably be back here again tomorrow.
I get a shot from your best.
Okay. All right, we're here at Waffle House, and this is actually for the first time. We've never been to Waffle House. I heard the term. I thought it meant the generic term Waffle House, like IHOP, but nope. There actually is a place called Waffle House.
Yeah.
And so we haven't tried it before.
And we're gonna try it. You can see that.
You're gonna see.
It might be a little rough.
What the?
The pickup trucks with the exhaust,
Oh,
two exhausts out there.
That is impressive.
Do it.
Yep, we're actually gonna go inside the full house. Full house policy. Thank you. We're gonna go in there. It smells like waffles. That's expected. Smells good. Smells like you can smell the rich taste of the waffles, and it definitely smells really good in here.
They got the Wonder Bread too.
And where has Waffle House been all my life? Never seen a place like this. So cool.
Because it's very low cost item.
It's so busy too. Look how busy this place is. And what are you not enjoying? You're not enjoying the wonderful sight of seeing people make bacon here.
You got the best view.
All right.
Alright, we got our hash browns here, and our jalapenos, and chicken.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Butter, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, so you have to tell me how it is.
Oh yeah, I gotta see. How's this chicken?
Oh, really?
I am.
You're not just saying that? Okay, very good. Excellent, thank you. This Gatlinburg area, am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. This Gatlinburg area is definitely very, very busy. This is one of the busiest. I don't think I've seen a place in California that's busy, actually, where it's just non-stop people. Is it busy? It's just congested, really. They're just not really able to handle the crowds. I mean, we've been through Asia, and that's more people. They handle it better. Look how busy this is. It's intense. So we're walking here in Gatlinburg. It's extremely crowded. And I was just actually thinking today about, there are two types of businesses. There are the conventional businesses like a gas station, and then there's what are considered speculative, highly advanced businesses, like an Apple or technology company. So like if you want to get into a really predictable kind of business like a gas station, you can, but there's very low profit margin. Whereas technology companies, because you can create a monopoly with your patents and your technology, that you're able to have a much higher profit margin than like a gas station.
Look at the $10 a day parking, not bad. They should have
Yeah,
it.
$10 a day. That's why a lot of people like technology companies. That's why NASDAQ goes up as fast as it does, is because that has the most speculative things. Those are companies that are really on the cutting edge, and as a result, they reward investors with a much higher profit margin. What do you think about that? Isn't that true? You're into NASDAQ, aren't you?
NASDAQ? Triple NASDAQ?
Triple NASDAQ, but it's technology. Because technology is the most...
They're using technology to make it a leveraged kind of fund, right?
Whereas it's funny, when gas goes up a lot, people get mad at gas stations, and gas stations don't make much money. And you're getting mad at people who are not even getting rich. There's the... See, that's an example of kind of a quasi-monopoly, because you go up there and they're the only ones that have that bridge. So I would say it's a pretty good investment, because it's not like someone can imitate that very easily over here. Well, last time we were here in Gatlinburg, a few days ago, we went to the Starbucks, but here there's a good coffee place around here.
Yeah.
It is? Oh, he's on the phone, I guess. I guess Dottie was talking to me, but he's not. So there's
we waited
coffee.
a whole hour in traffic to get here, missing our daylight.
And but you want to also use your drone and all that nonsense, and maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't, and maybe we'll get it, Dollywood, maybe we won't, who knows. But yeah, here's the line, and you can tell it's good stuff, because there's a...
Isn't there a line for everything?
There's a
line to go to the bathroom.
There's a line for everything, everywhere. So, Danny wanted to do the drone video today, but not so sure that's
started getting a wind warning,
so
saying land promptly.
You got a wind warning with the drone, and so that means basically that it's not really possible to do the drone images. That's another reason why drone videos are quite popular, but also I think they're kind of more expensive sometimes, because they're not always so easy to get certain kinds of videos, because the conditions with drones depends a lot on the weather conditions like that, and restrictions. So it's a lot tougher than just taking a picture with like this. I'm about to ring a wishing a bell. Here we go.
I'll show Michael how to do it.
Oh. There you go. That's it. Man, look at all the candy that they have here. This is unreal how much that they have. Now, there's one thing that Southerners like. It is sweet stuff. It's actually really bad for your teeth, but they seem to really love it down here. I don't know why. It's insane. This place is like a dentist dream. They have all of these candies for their customers, so they can have a great time, making a lot of money, drilling people's teeth as a result of coming here.
This is the most amount of candy I've ever seen my whole life. Now, I do like chocolate, dark chocolate preferably, and not too sugary, but yeah, this is incredible. I think it's because in the South they like sugar a lot. I mean,
they do love the sugar. Look at all that. That's a lot of candy. Oh, there's M&Ms and stuff like that. Sweet. They sure do love that.
Coming in from Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg.
want some free parking over here because we don't pay for parking. So in a previous video I said that we do not pay for parking. Well, there is a special exception today. There's our luggage. And we actually had to pay 25. We're gonna end up paying $25 to park this time, unfortunately.
Unless we can go look for a place on the street somewhere.
Do you think that would be possible?
Move the car.
Do you think that would be possible?
It is possible.
But look at this fancy pants place that we're staying at, though. Not fancy pants?
An apartment.
We're staying at an apartment, not
Luxury.
those damn hotels.
Luxury apartment here.
Okay, let's get in there. All right. Maybe it's oh, what the heck? Wow, that was interesting. Didn't expect that. Oh wow, you have to wait for the concierge?
Yeah.
Yes. What kind of place are we staying in? Or there's nobody at the front desk? Any comment for the people at home?
This is first.
So we're staying in someone's apartment, so apparently the concierge is supposed to take care of this.
Yeah, he was like,
Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
Hello.
Hello. May I help you?
Oh yeah, we're checking in.
Actually, if you want to just follow me.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hi. When you become really successful, you will be able to stay in an amazing place. Like this one that I am staying in.
Best Western.
This is no Best Western.
What's wrong with the Best
This is an amazing place, a great view of the city.
Look at that, yo.
Now it'll be sad to actually leave this, to be honest, because I think we're going to some dump in
We're gonna
Memphis.
have the La Quinta, man.
Oh no, that sounds so crappy by comparison to this.
You got a balcony right here.
Is it only kind of pricey because of the time of year, or is it always kind of that price, you think?
I don't know, but
So what does this mean? Is this place like $4,000 a month? See? Is that what it is? What do you think?
I think this is pretty awesome. It's gonna be.
What do you think?
Look at this. It has a sofa bed.
Oh, cool.
So
someone's
you have an extra
someone's gonna sleep in this amazing place, and all these things come down. So look, I'll show you all of you at home. If at night you don't want to have all this, you just push this down. It's pretty cool. Really, really nice. Now apparently, here's the thing about this place that's kind of weird. Is this someone's personal apartment, or the whole they couldn't get someone to pay the monthly rate, so then the complex seems like the complex itself can rent it out on a short-term basis.
I don't know what the deal is.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, you saw it on video, so you can give me your opinion of how it works here. But I'm pretty impressed because at home I don't have a nice place like this. I live in a dump. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yep. Oh boy, someone's getting rich off this. The royalties are amazing. What do you think of that?
Nothing.
It's a music city, so they're playing music, of course. They don't play that other places. Look at this. This is cool. I can't play this too long though. I don't want them taking my royalties. Oh, wait a minute. I don't really monetize my channel yet.
It's crazy here. It's like Las Vegas. I never really saw pictures of Nashville, so I didn't know what to expect.
Look at this city. This city is intense, man. It has everything here. pretty wild. Saw a lot of interesting things. Saw a guy drunk and passed out over there. You don't usually see people pass out like that. That's a rare occurrence. Doesn't occur very often anywhere. Huh? Yeah, no, we did see someone pass out in that one spot last night. So must be like a spot where people do drugs or something like that, because it's really weird to see that. Danny, are you familiar with the $20 bill?
Yeah, it has Andrew Jackson on it.
That's who it is, and guess what? This is his home, Andrew Jackson. Well, actually, it looks like a building that they created to have tours and everything. And we are here on the grounds of Andrew Jackson's property, the Hermitage, and it's a pretty impressive place. You can see he owned quite a lot of land here. That's the museum over there. We're gonna have the tour of the inside, but I cannot include that as part of the video you're gonna see.
You can see this is
because that's not allowed.
That Andrew Jackson
Actually, it's pretty nice.
Walk around here.
Pretty nice property over here, and back then it was probably even more isolated. It's still a pretty isolated location even to this day. There's not a whole lot in the surrounding areas even to this day. Anyone who says that there's no open space in the US has no clue what they're talking about, because there's plenty. I'm presently walking to the grave site of a very famous person, and his name was Andrew Jackson, and you have a picture of his in your wallet, the $20 bill. Walking over there. We're at the grave site of Andrew Jackson, and President Trump, the current president, says that he really praises him and believes that there's a lot he has in common. I think actually President Trump may have come here actually. Recently.
Oh, really?
I think I remember seeing him. It's possible that he came here to see the home. Wow. We're gonna have to look that up. President of the United States. We're here at Marciel's. It's a Mexican restaurant here in Memphis. And man, is it, we're just starting out with appetizers. They're already damn good.
Yep. That's real queso, not like the Chipotle one, right?
Oh wow, I didn't know that you could get a real, no, Chipotle is real. It's just that it's just they make it in vast quantity. This is homemade. That's yum good. Very good.
Especially when you haven't eaten since midnight.
That's a good secret too. And this place is not very expensive. Okay, everybody, we are at Marciel's. I said that earlier, but you never know.
We got burritos.
We got burritos. Man, oh man, look at that. Can you believe you can get this in Tennessee? Well, it's Memphis.
Let's see. I gotta put some of this hot sauce on it, and I'm gonna tell you all how good it is. It has avocado in it.
Oh, thank you very much for the tips. That's really great.
I think
that's it. It's really great food. Thank you. See, they deliver excellent, great food here.
Very good.
And the chips are free, or well, I don't know. I guess they are. But it's a really great, great service, and they have nice hot sauce and the queso, chips, and they got the burrito. What more can you ask for, right? Very good. Okay, where are we?
We're in Nancy Brothers. I've heard about this place ever since I was a kid. That they made the Elvis clothes. Now, actually being in here is really pretty cool because
it's actually interesting because they probably helped create the persona of Elvis. If you think about it, the clothes create kind of the image, and then you can kind of create the personality around the image. So
why don't I do? That's a cool camera. Is that a?
It's
GoPro?
a GoPro. It's pretty much a GoPro, yeah. But we can do both.
Why don't you? Are you gonna ask me a question?
Okay.
Why don't you ask me a question? How did?
Okay, so
Mr. Lansky, I'm second generation. I'm not Mr. Lansky.
Okay,
yeah. At first, I was saying you look very young to be.
I'm second generation. Those are my dad. I'm second generation.
Oh,
but I'll tell you my name. You're rolling now.
Oh yeah, we're rolling.
Okay. All right. I'm Hal Lansky. I'm second generation. Our store is Lansky Brothers, Clothes of the King. We've been in business since 1946. This year is our 74th anniversary. Next year is a big one, 75. And a lot of people ask me, how did my dad meet the future king of rock and roll? And my dad saw this one young man looking in the window. He said, "Young man, come on in, let me show you around. And this young man looked up, Mr. Lansky, I don't have any money, but one of these days I'm gonna come in and buy you out. And my dad said, don't buy me out, just buy from me. And that's how these friendships started.
Oh wow! And
Okay.
if you, okay.
So I'm gonna. And Elvis worked as an usher around the corner, and every Friday he got paid. He'd come by, and maybe one week he'd buy a shirt for $1.95. Next week he might buy a cap for 50 cents. Next week he might buy some pants for $2.95. Elvis loved clothes. He just kept coming in and coming in. And then one day Elvis came in and said, Mr. Lansky, I'm gonna be on national TV. My dad said, that's great, Elvis, what show? And he said, it's the Ed Sullivan Show. So my dad said, oh my God, that's a great show, Elvis. And so Elvis started looking around. My dad was showing him clothes and stuff. And Elvis looked up. He said, Mr. Lansky, I got a problem. And my dad said, Elvis, what's your problem? He said, Elvis said, I don't have any money. And my dad said, you got a problem, Elvis, but I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you credit. And that's what sealed the deal with my dad and Elvis. He gave him credit to go on the first appearance of Ed Sullivan's show September 9th, 1956. Wow. And my dad watched him that night, and my dad really didn't know what kind of entertainer he was or singer. And of course, if you're shopping with us, we're going to tell you look good. And the clothes look awesome on him. But that night, my dad saw him on TV, and he knew this guy was destined for stardom. He was, as my dad would say, he was dynamite. Yeah. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
what kind of clothes were here before Elvis was shopping? Was it very similar, or like
just a very 50s?
Oh, very 50s.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of the city looks like they're undergoing some revitalization. I don't see that many bums on the street. I don't see any tents. If this were LA, there would be a guy with a tent right here, but it doesn't exist. So. This is the legendary Sun Studios, where a young Elvis Presley came here and recorded his first album here. We are in the right place, apparently. You know it's the right place? Oh, they have postcards, Danny. Danny's in love with postcards, and they're pretty inexpensive over here. Look at that. Postcards, but look, they're good. Good postcards. Look at that.
She knew, you know, she could tell there was something there. There was something about Elvis. So she took that recording, she played it for Sam Phillips. He takes a listen to My Happiness, and everybody, do you know when Sam heard that song, he was immediately not interested in recording Elvis Presley. Now, why was that? Well, you know, I told you everybody, of course, the thing was, Sam really opened this place to record blues music. You know, he was recording a little bit of country music here and there, but that was a pop song, Elvis sang. Sam was not interested in producing pop music. That was kind of why he got out of radio. That's why he started this place. He was looking for a kind of an alternative to mainstream pop music. So that song choice, everybody. Do you know that meant Elvis had to wait a year before he was back in this room again to make a real recording?
It's gonna be just like that. It's gonna be a big street with a whole bunch of the best musicians in the world. But if you think about it, I never heard of a musician coming from Memphis except for Elvis. So kind of is an interesting question.
Well, that might be true. They did record a lot of musicians.
Did they still record at that Sun Studio? That's or like it's a museum.
They do. They were doing karaoke for a while.
Karaoke.
Now it's only professional.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. We're in the world famous Buell Street, and you know what? It's on a Monday. It's actually not all that exciting, to be honest. Here's an empty bar over there.
Because everybody is all partied out.
In Memphis, I felt that the city probably has seen better times. Although Elvis Presley moved there to jumpstart his career, the town has a feeling that it is just a shell of its former self. Crime is high in the city, and it doesn't seem like tourists are too hungry to visit the city lately. It feels like a ghost town in good times.
All right, we are here in front of the Lorraine Motel, which is now a museum for, it's a National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel. It's a very historic place because Dr. Martin Luther King, he was assassinated at room 306. And how did that happen? It was, the assassin was right in that building.
And the window on the
Second
far
floor.
right,
Yeah.
on the second floor.
And contrary to what I hear a lot of people saying, that was not Dr. Martin Luther King's car or his entourage. This is, it says it right here. The vintage cars in the parking lot represent the vehicles parked at the Lorraine Motel when Dr. King was killed. It's basically to make you get a sense of the era. That's why the cars are there. But this hotel, it's after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed, not many people wanted to stay here, understandably. So it fell into disrepair, and because not many people were to stay here, so there's not much money for upkeep anymore. And as a result, the hotel was sold to the nonprofit for $144,000. I actually don't know if that was a good amount or a cheap amount for this area, but for a motel, that seems like a pretty good price, I suppose. And they did a very good job just restoring and making you feel like you're back in that era, because it's exactly the way it looked in that era. It gives you a sense of what it was like. See, it's definitely a 1960s kind of motel. And the wreath is there because it's like it's a replica of a wreath that was placed there right after he was assassinated. Obviously, a wreath placed in a place like this, it wouldn't last very long, so they had to put a permanent replica of that. And it's definitely a good museum, really well worth your time visiting. It's one of the top things to do in the city of Memphis. A lot of people are doing really learning a lot about the history of the civil rights movement in here at the Lorraine Motel. One thing I noticed is that when you watch those videos of the police hitting these unarmed protesters, it really reminded me of what's going on in other places around the world, like Hong Kong, where the police are just beating up unarmed civilians and things like that.
Well, this is the second time we're seeing it this trip. Do
you remember seeing it in like a textbook or something like that?
I do remember seeing this in textbooks and everything. So it's
there actually are people who do not like this museum. Like there's a woman across the street. She has a big sign about she doesn't like this museum. It's over there. Mm-hmm. She thinks it was a waste of money, apparently. She does like Martin Luther King. She does quote him, so not like she's against Dr. Martin Luther King. She just is under the impression that resources should have been spent doing something else, I suppose. All right, I'm gonna get a Coca-Cola right here. I am here at the World of Coke, and we're about to get watch a little short movie about Coca-Cola, so I'm kind of excited to see what this is all about. Coca-Cola is a really amazing company in terms of the marketing. I've always been impressed by the ads. They have like the polar bear is a really nice one, and they just really know how to focus a great deal on nostalgia and things like that. Really generates a lot of interest and enthusiasm.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the oldest artifact in the room. This is the ceramic syrup dispenser. Let me tell you how it works. We will put 1 gallon of Coca-Cola syrup in at the top there. Your glass will go there at the bottom. You'll give that nozzle a spin. Into your glass, you will get 1 ounce of Coca-Cola syrup, 5 ounces of carbonated water. You stir that together by hand and have yourself a nice lukewarm glass of Coca-Cola. That glass of Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen, for so long, will run you for 5 cents until it hopped up to a whopping, what you think? 6 cents.
This is where the secret ingredients for Coca-Cola is, and guess what? I'm about to go inside one of the most secretive locations on the planet. In fact, I think there's a website where it says top 10 most secret things in the world. This is actually one of them.
The secret formula for Coca-Cola is here. So share a Coke. Be part of the magic. We'll keep the secret, because keeping the secret ensures that the magic lives on.
So these are vending machines from different eras. You could probably imagine yourself getting a cold glass of Coca-Cola out of one of these machines back in the day. Look at that. Looks like a cappuccino maker up there, but it's not. So, and then there's a famous Japanese vending machines. They love their vending machines. Advertisements from the different eras. Oh, this is the international advertising. Oh, you know.
All right, this is the Olympic torch from 1996 Olympic Games. We have it because Atlanta was a proud sponsor of the Olympic Games. Atlanta has been a proud sponsor of the Olympic Games since 1928 Amsterdam Olympic Games.
At the Coca-Cola Museum, they show how they bottle the Coca-Cola bottles by doing it at a fraction of the pace they do it at the real bottling plant.
Okay, I'm at the part of the tour where you get to actually try out different types of Coca-Cola from around the world for free. It's all part of the package tour. So I'm kind of just trying to look around because I'm not usually a cola person, so it's kind of a little bit hard for me to actually decide which to drink. It's one of the toughest things. This is interesting. There's a okay, we're in Europe here, and it says Beverly. I don't know what Beverly is, but the name is cool. It's like Beverly Hills, right? Italy.
Remember that saxophone guy from the award show?
Actually, I must say, Beverly's not bad.
They all are very unique. And I can see when I'm tasting it, I can see how this probably wouldn't work in the US. This doesn't have the kind of US flavor that people are going for, but it's kind of funny how you can have to change it a little bit for the local environment. Here's a Coca-Cola bottle, and there's Coca-Cola you can get and drink it right here. All the different Cokes, and it's a wonderful screen, really nice and clear. They have they have some that are unique to the holiday. What's this? Raspberry Magic. Yum yum. So if you don't like sweets, what I discovered is this one, the Jamaica Nada. I'll just get a little more of this. It's not actually sweet for whatever reason.
I'm surprised. I
don't know why.
I thought Mexico would be really sweet.
Thankfully, it's not water from Mexico though, just the ingredients. So that's it from the Coca-Cola, home of the Coca-Cola Museum. It's a wonderful place to stop. Even if you're not into Coke, it's still an interesting tour. I recommend it. Swear. Imported from Spain. That's interesting. So it's a little bit higher quality.
It's also cheaper to make it with recycled.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny, his one big complaint about the place is when during the sample testing, he did not like the fact they did not have free straws.
I need straws.
You had to bring your own straw.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything quite like this. It's a trucker of Coca-Cola for little kids. I was bringing up the issue of Coca-Cola. You might have a business and you might say, "Oh, I'm not the best in my field. How can I do well?" But the truth is, it all has to do with marketing. Coca-Cola isn't nearly the best. It's not great at anything. It's just sugar water, and a lot of people wouldn't be impressed by it. But it's the advertising, it's the nostalgia that Coca-Cola really has done wonders to create this huge interest around the world. It's really amazing marketing. I don't like the taste of it at all. So we came back to our car, and yeah, we have a red Chevy, and it's like someone saw that. Then they're like, "No, I gotta park next to that because that's my twin." And you know that it's not by accident. I mean, look at this whole lot. There's not a red car here. If you are a big fan of Jim Henson's The Muppets, like I am, you're in for a real treat. Here's his workspace. This is where he would work. Look how awesome that is. Here's Rolf the dog. He was actually originally used for a commercial for dog food. And another thing about Jim Henson that was very smart is he did not sell the characters to some of the brands he was working with. He maintained ownership over the characters. So some of the characters that he developed for one purpose, he was able to reuse it for another. And it looks like a early version of Kermit the Frog right here. It's pretty cool. All these characters were such a big part of my childhood. I really feel like I'm meeting a celebrity here. These people were a big part of my life. They were my friends. And who doesn't like Big Bird? But I must admit, there's one character I really love. Hey guys, I like to live in a trash can. Yeah, I'm a grouch. And then I became a grouch too, to imitate him. Because what about you? Do you like him?
He's an interesting character. Very dirty.
He's dirty?
Very dirty.
That looks like a very clean trash can. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but in high school, let's see, maybe from this angle. Yeah, in high school, a lot of people thought I looked like Scooter. I don't think that there's much of a resemblance, but some people, of course, can think that if they want. But how many of you remember this character from the Muppets? Because I don't. I can tell you what this is made out of. It's made out of Scott foam, polar fleece, and string. See, these are some of the materials that are used to make the puppets.
Are they the most famous?
They're one of the most famous puppets in history, and they're now owned by the Walt Disney Corporation. No trip to the Puppet Museum is complete without seeing Kermit the Frog. Kermit is always focused on doing the right thing. He's kind of a person who's focused on just getting things done the right way. Seeing right here, people are doing a puppet show. Hey dear. Hey Camel. Looking at me a little funny there. Alright, that's the Federal Reserve of Atlanta over there. And we just recently took a tour of the Federal Reserve of Atlanta. And it's actually a pretty nice tour. You get to see the interesting things you probably would not have known otherwise. For instance, there was once a $100,000 current note, but it was never really in circulation among the public. It was basically for interbank transfers between like the Federal Reserve and commercial banks.
One thing they do not do is they do not print money here.
They do not print money. They destroy money in more ways than one. Well, the one way is by basically mandating them more money, because if Mint doesn't decide how much money is printed, they decide how much money is printed. And then secondly, they destroy the money that's in disrepair and decrepit. But it's actually cool when you're in there and you get to look through a window and you get to see the money, lots of money.
You get to see money made from Washington's forks, because they possibly, by rumor, they melted down some of his own silver to fund some of the coinage that they were making at the time.
That's right. Just show some interesting random things. The most random things you'll ever see. Like I can't believe that for some reason they include Jimmy Carter's high chair. Why would you include the high chair? I don't get it. And they also included this weird exhibit where it just showed that the family bought stuff from Sears magazine. I don't understand what's the point of that. Like, okay, maybe if I'm president, you'll include something where like Michael actually bought stuff from Target. And can you believe that? So I've been to other presidential libraries, none of them did exhibits like that, so it's a little bit weird. My friends, this is the one-of-a-kind high chair of the president, Jimmy Carter.
Who is that? Timmy! Timmy! Oh, Timmy! Timmy!
Can you believe it? Jimmy, eat all your broccoli. Don't throw your food away, bro. Jimmy. Don't throw the food across the hall. And also, this is also very important. Did you know that Jimmy Carter's, the Carter family, they actually bought stuff from Sears catalog. Okay, and this is actually the presidential archives here at the Jimmy Carter Library. And the archives are usually, well, not usually, they always are run by the federal government. It's actually not, it's run by different people that run the rest of the library. And so all these archives here includes works that were written during the time of Jimmy Carter's presidency. Professional individuals are able to work on doing research here. So if you're a researcher, like a professor at a university, you can come down here and look through these documents, right, Danny? Can you believe it? I'm actually in the Oval Office. Actually, it's not. It's at the Carter Library, and they have a Oval Office replica.
Just the
Oval Office.
Maybe.
Isn't this the second time you've been in an Oval Office, Danny?
This is why I came to Washington.
Whereas Jimmy has been in pretty good health all these
still
years.
around.
He's still around. He's being everybody.
There's a great seal of the U.S. Okay, if you know something about history, you know about Jimmy Carter's famous speech about energy. He was wearing this sweater. He was like, "You guys gotta turn down your heat, and you gotta put on a sweater like this. Don't you all want to put on a sweater like this? I mean, you'll be Mr. Cool." By the way, this is not the actual sweater. This is actually a reproduction, apparently. And when you wear it, you can really save the planet. That's what he was trying to suggest, apparently. See, one big mistake that Jimmy Carter made in his presidency is he gave the Panama Canal back. My own view is the U.S. should never have given the Panama Canal back. In fact, even here at the Carter Library, it shows that giving back the Panama Canal was hugely unpopular, and some senators who had supported giving it back lost their seats. So there's a lesson to politicians everywhere. You make dumb mistakes, you get thrown out of office. So for some reason, Jimmy Carter did win a Nobel Peace Prize. And here it is. It's the Nobel Peace Prize. This is actually the very first time I've ever seen a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't think I've ever seen one. And looking at it, one thing that's cool about it is it's actually imperfect. It's not made with perfect craftsmanship, and I think that's part of the unique qualities of this award. Very quickly, like, look at this. This is the Medal of Freedom. I think first time I've seen it, Medal of Freedom. It's the highest civilian honor. Usually the section about first ladies is not that interesting at presidential libraries, but in this case, Rosalind Carter was kind of interesting in the sense that she actually apparently attended the cabinet meetings. I don't know how that works, and what if they're discussing classified material. I mean, she's not really appointed or elected to anything, so it's kind of strange that she would be actually at the cabinet meetings. But maybe one of you can explain why she was there, or how that's allowed. Can you believe it? Jimmy Carter was a photographer in his years in the Navy. So I guess he has one attribute. He's pretty cool. I haven't seen any pictures to prove that the pictures are good, but that's... Here's something cool, everybody. They have all 50 state flags over here. There's all 50 of them. You can see it all over here. Okay, I just took a tour of the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library, and just like the presidency itself, it's well, I mean, how could a library be better than the presidency? So I guess it did the best job it could possibly do, considering the fact that the presidency was not such a great one. But they did have, you could see the Presidential Medal of Honor, which I've never seen that in person. Also, they have his Nobel Peace Prize in there. That's pretty cool. But they have a few times where he's talking. That's kind of boring because he's not really a great speaker. But the one thing that is awesome, maybe if you just come to this library, you don't even have to pay to get in. You could just go straight to the cafeteria, because they have excellent cornbread and also bean soup. It's called bean soup. Wonderful bean soup. Very good, very good, very good soup. And you could. They like it when you praise the soup, because the people in there, they're actually making it. It's not some cheap junk. It's really high quality. So But kudos to the Carter Library for being smart enough to get high quality food, because that can actually bring in more people with high quality food. Maybe some of you will be going in for that purpose. This is the entrance to the Centennial Park in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is pretty beautiful, very beautiful. It's very colorful, unlike in Whistler. Over there, I don't remember there being any colors to it. And on the other side, they have a basically an observation wheel. It's not a Ferris wheel, it's an observation wheel. And they have a Waffle House across over there, and that's about it. At the Olympic Centennial Park, they have a lot of vendors selling food here. Saw some interesting things here. They have a kebab here. What? All kinds.
Thank you very much.
It tasted amazing.
Really good.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh wow, because what extra?
Oh yeah, this is the gift that keep on giving. You got it, sir?
Oh yeah, I got it. Elvis's mom, she came to the store and Elvis, he wanted to buy a rifle. I don't even know if they sell rifles here anymore. And what?
I think they sell rifles.
Yeah, probably. They do sell guitars still.
Yep.
And apparently his mom wanted to buy
$100 or a little more than that.
His mom wanted to buy him a guitar, and he actually didn't want it. And I think he was complaining about it. And eventually, over time, he grew to like the guitar. Oh look, I think they sell Pelicans though. This is where Elvis Presley's mom bought the guitar from. And so Danny's thinking of getting something. So there was a famous concert taken here. Oh yeah, yes, please use the light. So there was a famous concert here.
Tupelo,
Mississippi. There's a famous photograph of him. There's a cool coffee shop. Looks like a old Ford truck. Cool coffee shop, isn't it? I find this place very fascinating.
Yeah, it's very good.
I really like amazingly hip and just beautiful locations like this. It just has a really cool look to it, and they just have everything you can want. It's good lighting. Have the books here in case you want to use this, or you can bring your laptop, I guess. Little Rock is becoming a hip destination.
Nexus Coffee is an incredible coffee shop in the city of Little Rock. Nexus is the perfect coffee shop if you're interested in doing creative work, want to listen to music when they are playing, or need to meet up with some of your colleagues. They offer creative rooms that rent out for about $10 an hour. And Nexus, they have trivia nights, art shows, open mic, poetry readings, and community partnerships where local vendors sell products in the store. This has to be one of the best coffee shops I've ever visited.
Oh, you don't want to make this lady angry. She throws axes. That's definitely not a good thing. I thought she was gonna do like a fake thing where she throws it. Oh boy, here you go. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh boy, he got it. Woo wee. All right. Look at the cool things you get to see when you travel around America.
Well, you're gonna do this?
You get to see the Statue of Liberty. And there are many Statue of Liberties we've seen. I've seen one in Japan. I've seen one in Las Vegas. Where else have we seen? Paris, there's a small one. You know another one? In China, there's one apparently. I don't remember where we saw it.
Oh, was that Tokyo? No, that's Tokyo.
Tokyo. See, he already forgot.
Okay.
And of course, there was the famous one in Tiananmen Square. The people
there
erected
was one in China.
There was? Where?
Shenzhen.
Shenzhen. Oh, yeah. At the window of the world, which if you watch my brother's video, he has a whole video about it. Someone's having trouble putting his camera together. So look at what a beautiful sight we have over here. It's beautiful. He can't figure out how to put his jobbie together.
There we go.
Oh well, look at how ridiculous that looks. So I'm here at the gravesite of Hank Williams. He was a legendary country music star. You know, people actually leave money for Hank. This would last about 2 seconds in most places, but over here in Montgomery, Alabama, I guess people are pretty honest about this. They're very trustworthy.
Leaving money on the gravesite.
I don't know why. It's kind of, to be honest, it's a little tacky. And his son Hank Williams Jr. is also a country music star to some extent. I don't know if he is anymore. But
as you can see, Hank didn't really live very long.
He didn't live very long, apparently. What was it? Prescription drugs or something?
He died from a heart attack.
At the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, the museum includes wonderful exhibits including rockets, artifacts of the U.S. space program, and great achievements.
Everybody, look at, I'm on the moon. Check that out. It's the moon. See, it really did happen because I'm walking right on the moon. And it's right here. So awesome. What you're looking at is the very first space station.
My